With the invention of the printing press in the approximate year 1450 by Johann Gutenberg of Mainz, the spread of information became highly accessible through the mass production of text, information that was most noticeably held by the rich and religious monks, educated in reading and writing scriptures. With the added technique of woodcut printing to mass-produce images, the rise of print media, according to Asa Briggs and Peter Burke's A Social History of Media, was the most profound change in visual communication, since it made images so much more widely available than before. Printmaking quickly involved leading artists of the Renaissance, such as Botticelli, who produced a series of woodcut illustrations for Dante's Divine Comedy. In the 21st century, these innovations have become prevalent in our lives to the point that they are taken for granted. Written text and reproduced images are presented to us from the moment we open our eyes in the morning to the point we retire for the night. Advances in technology have allowed us to fit an entire library's worth of information and escapism into a device that can easily fit into a back pocket. With these advancements in technology come both benefits and repercussions. According to a report by Smithers Priya in 2016, the print industry in this decade is being defined by two overarching trends. First is the decline of the traditional markets, like book printing and newspapers, in the face of competition from electric alternatives, inkjet and toner, print systems. The two trends are not mutually exclusive, however. Digital print is a value-adding option, and its ability to add variable data and customization can help reinvigorate segments where traditional print is most under threat. In the realm of digital comics, the added value comes with the ability to augment comics with new features that would be unattainable with traditional media, as well as allowing independent creators the opportunity to share their creations with the world at a considerably cheaper cost, with the elimination for the need to pay for mass physical publication. In a recent interview with Leah Moore, a celebrated comic book author, working in both physical and digital publication, she described her own and collaborators' experiences working on digital comics in comparison to their physical counterparts.
The thing I realised is that with a printed page, you've always got that page size and shape and the number of pages as your baseline, like, unit of measurement for the length of your story or the length of a scene, or how many kind of how many cuts you want to do, how many panels do you want to fit on it, and it's constraint, and it dictates absolutely every element of your whole project. Whereas with digital, then you have to kind of put those kind of constraints on yourself. You have to say, oh well, I want the story to be experienced sort of like either on an iPad, like we did with Electrocomics, where we had to think, okay, if you're constrained by reading it on a flat screen, but you can tilt the screen, or you can swipe it, you can scroll it, you have to kind of you have to try and think how those constraints how they change what you're doing. And some of the people that we worked with on Electrocomics, like Garth Ennis, he just did the comic that he would have done for paper, and then we did it as a continuous scroll, and like an up-down scroll, and it worked beautifully for that. It, like, the artwork worked beautifully, but then like the Big Nemo one that my dad did, then he made it so that every single tap caused multiple elements on the page to, like, change place or move about, and so every single thing he wanted it all to be kind of so his constraints were very different to Frank's or to Garth's on his comic that he did with Frank, and then mine, you ended up tipping it to make it move, and but you still kind of, even with that, you still come down to what size is the screen going to be, how, like, are you going to be able to zoom in and out, is there going to be it's a different set of constraints, and it means because you haven't got the kind of print costs involved, then you can be a bit more flexible with, like, do you just want to show one panel at a time and then pull back and show half the page or a whole page, or it's it's very you can concentrate on the story, you know all of those kind of details in advance.
While this approach is most commonly thought of to work with independent publishers, larger companies such as Marvel and DC have seen digital comics as a way to increase their profit and provide content to a larger clientele base. However, unlike traditional printed comics and free online independent comics, the ability to share, lend, and borrow your comics becomes illegal. According to Marvel's own policy in regards to digital comics, upon your download and/or streaming and/or use of digital content and payment of an applicable fees, including applicable taxes, Marvel grants you a non-exclusive and non-accessible license to access, view, download, use, and display such digital content only on the number and types, if so limited, of devices specified in the Marvel Comics app, or in a third-party store in which the app was obtained, e.g. the iTunes App Store, and solely for your personal, non-commercial use consistent with the terms of this agreement. Digital content is licensed to you by Marvel, not sold, transferable, or assigned to you. Marvel may post additional terms for digital content in the Marvel Comics app. These terms will also apply, but in the event of a conflict between these terms and the terms of this agreement will govern. While many may question why they are unable to legally lend or share the digital content they have purchased, this highlights a key difference between physical and digital distribution. If I was to purchase one copy of a physical comic and then allow a friend of mine to borrow it, there is still only one copy of that comic in existence. The publishers, distributors, and creators see the profit from that one product. However, if I was to download the same comic digitally, copy the file, and send it to the same friend, there are now two copies of the same comic to which the creator only sees the profit from the original purchase. An issue that is widely debated, not only in the realm of digital publishing, but online piracy throughout the entertainment industry. The move to digital has also been hotly debated in regards to its impact on high street comic book stores, a market that relies heavily on the sale of back issues, especially in regards to collector culture. Surprisingly, despite the belief that the sales of digital comics would hurt physical sales and possibly drive several smaller stores out of business, several sources have found that the opposite is in fact occurring. Leah Moore described her experience researching this for her recent collaborative project, the Electra Comics app.
The digital market obviously has grown and grown and grown, and I think 2001 it was like $1 million, and 2015 or something it was like 100 million. So it's grown and grown and grown, and it's rapidly rising. But everyone assumed that the print market would shrink at kind of the same rate. Like, there's only so many comics you can sell, and there's only a limited number of people to sell them to. So surely it's going to have this terrible negative impact. And what they've found is that people are buying digital comics the same way they buy other digital content. They just kind of the same way that you'd like get a game for your phone just because you're bored, and or you might listen to an album and buy it because you liked it. People are just kind of getting comics as content, so it's bringing in an awful lot of new readers to comics, and that is actually causing the print market to grow.
Leah is far from the only person to notice this trend. In an article by V. Roger in Newsarama, Joe Field, the owner of Flying Colour Comics, states that, on one hand, there has been some migration of those who bought print comics now reading digitally. On the other hand, digital comics are a portal for new readers to come into fully stocked comic stores. It's the modern equivalent of window shopping. We see something we like and want to own a hard copy. Sentiments echoed by Ryan Seymour, owner of Comic Town in Columbus, Ohio, and backed up by Dee Barnett in an article for The Guardian, stating that print comics more than match the rise in digital sales, leaping up 37% in 2013 to $870 million in the US. However, there appears to be a prevalent fear that digital comics may grow to a point where companies such as DC and Marvel consider discontinuing their physical publications in favor of a cheaper, more direct method of distribution, such as digital comics.
Basically, it's an instant revenue stream. So any of all the big companies are kind of putting out all of their back catalogue on. There's digital files, and there's all kind of bundles, or like Marvel Unlimited kind of you pay this much and you get all of these books. And there's revenue wise, I think revenue is what most of the companies and creators are thinking. They think, oh wow, somebody can buy my comic instantly on their device and not have to. And I think, you know, that avoids the hell of the pull list that somebody doesn't collect, or the, you know what I mean, it makes and I think that companies kind of see that as, you know, that's the main motivation and the main reason for getting into it. I think
the impact this decision could have would affect thousands working in the direct market worldwide. As stated in Roger's Guardian article, although the print market is currently healthy, a significant growth in digital and decreased importance of print could one day change. Imagine this scenario. Digital sales increase to the point where either Marvel or DC decides that removing printing costs from their overhead and selling their comics as digital exclusives would boost their bottom line. The direct market would be gone overnight. Our methods of accessing information have expanded and grown in ways in which physical media can no longer accommodate. In regards to the realm of comics, it is undeniable that digital access to these materials have influenced the market directly. In recent weeks, DC Comics has announced a partnership with Amazon Prime to stream comics directly to customers in very much the same manner to which we currently consume film, television, and music. The proposed goal of such a decision, while seeming to threaten the direct market, as mentioned by Joe Field earlier, the decision could drive more people to explore the realm of comics in the comfort of their own home, for, if they so choose, exploring back issues and paper trade in the direct market. While many may see digital comics as a sign that the direct market is dying off, just as many are beginning to see it as a sign of the direct market's rejuvenation and a way to get new readers through those doors.